hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Ruben and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Ruben and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team.
0.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. Here's Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
I just checked outside because, honestly, I wasn't certain. I'm looking to the east. JJ, sunrise is scheduled for 7:01. I believe the sun is rising this morning, although you probably weren't certain it would, Lobo fan. It was about as rough a day yesterday as there's been. I do believe there's bright days ahead. Not certain you want to hear that right now, or maybe that's exactly what you need to hear right now. But coming off the roller coaster, well, there was no roller coaster because roller coasters have ups. Coming off the day that was yesterday, there were little bumps yesterday, but as it came out, first Donovan Dent, then True Washington. Then your head coach is going to Villanova. No, maybe he's not going to Villanova. Maybe he's going to, oh, wait, West Virginia's in the mix. Oh, no, he's going to Xavier. Well, is he? And yes, he is. Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to Wednesday. The sun is rising over the beautiful Sandia Mountains in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and you are listening to the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. How you living?
Living like you got hit with a 1-2 and then the haymaker right after it.
Yeah. And, you know, I'm listening and we're decimated and we're never going to be back. And this is what it is. And it's the portal and it's NIL. And it's a lot of things. It's a lot of things. It's the state of college basketball. I was on the way in. I was listening to the national show before us. And they said you win one game in the NCAA tournament and your coach is gone the day that you're out. And this one took 2 days or 2 days, right? But he's not totally off at the non-power level. I hate the term mid-major, and you know how much I hate it for New Mexico and the Mountain West in general. But I think the Mountain West was the issue here. And we're open for business. So let me give you what's going on today, because there's a lot. If you want to get in, I'm suggesting early. 505-246-0610 is how to get here today. That's our phone line and our text line. Emails Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com, JJ at sportsanimалabq.com, and Adrian's producing on the visuals on the television side. You can watch on ProView Network's YouTube channel on Xfinity Channel 26, or just go to our Facebook page, the OD in the AM. Guest list today, 8 o'clock. This sounds so weird. Former New Mexico Lobo basketball coach Richard Pitino is scheduled to be with us, so we'll talk to Richard at 8 o'clock. Why Xavier, whatever he'll be able to share with us on the process, and what's next for him, and I don't know that he's going to be able to share really anything about Donovan Dent going with him. I saw the report Kentucky was on Donovan Dent, kind of right. Last year they got Lamont Butler as their point guard from San Diego State in his final year. They're in the Sweet 16 with Lamont Butler, who's, by the way, in his third straight Sweet 16. Supposedly they're going after Donnie, but will Donnie go to Xavier? So Richard Pitino at 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock, Kurt Roth is going to be in studio with us as we start to look forward. Kurt is the founder of 501 Sports Ventures. That is the NIL collective that is so key in getting guys here and raising the money to, yes, pay them as far as being Lobos. I did reach out to UNM Athletic Director Fernando Lovo to come on this morning. But he's got calls in the morning and will not be able to hop on with us. He sent his apologies. So we'll catch up with Fernando another time as far as moving forward, and the search is already out, and there's a lot of names. Go ahead, your thoughts, your emotions as you kind of gone through this, because it was weird. I'm not, I didn't realize I was emotionally attached. I didn't sleep last night, maybe more in anticipation of how this show was going to go.
I wasn't surprised. It was Xavier from the top rope. It wasn't, I think, what we were expecting would be the ultimate draw, but it's Big East basketball. Richard Pitino has been open about his doubts of the Mountain West Conference after next season, of what that's going to look like, the challenges when it comes to trying to be a consistent player in that conference. And I think a lot of people take a step back and go, well, if you still have this support, why can't you just run whatever it's going to be, which is understandable. But I also am one that I don't expect the coach to be here for 15 years. I don't feel lied to by Richard Pitino. When he said that the fans in that building were awesome, he believed it. But I don't think just because you say that, you have to stay somewhere for your entire career. Now, fans are hurt, and they're going to hear it today. There's a lot of people upset with Richard Pitino, said he's full of lies, this or that. And fans are going to be fans. I'm going to let fans be fans. But I wasn't someone that was shocked by it. It's a business of sport. And if you're going to be a college athletics fan, now more so than ever, coaches and players are going to flirt. And if it's going to hurt your feelings every day, then is not for you.
It's good. First of all, I don't know how anybody could be surprised, right? If anybody's surprised by this, you just don't get it. And I don't say that with any malice. I don't. And if you didn't get it before, I'm certain you get it now. There's nothing to be surprised. Richard's not going to be hotter, right? He's coming off a championship season, 2 straight NCAA tournaments, and he's been, to your point, very, very clear about his concern, that's probably a soft word, about the way the Mountain West Conference is going to look after next year. And so he's in a position now where he is a hot name. I don't know if Villanova offered. I don't know if West Virginia was going to offer. I don't know. I know Xavier did. I know. How about the fact that Chris Del Conte, the athletic director of Texas, is actually the guy who did Fernando this way, right? By taking Sean Miller and opening that job at Xavier.
Like you said, it's all dominoes. Yeah, you can be a good mid-major coach that wins, but what's the process, right? What opens up? And we knew some of the jobs that were there. Like Xavier came out of nowhere after that tournament run ended for Sean Miller, and he took the Texas job, and there you go. And there's another one, and then there's a trickle-down effect.
Yeah, and so who's going to be? Look, this is. I think this hurts a lot And I'm not going to lie. I think part of it, although not the main factor here, is what happened in football. Like, you just went through this 3 months ago. You just dealt with this 3 months ago when Bronco left. And do you care more about basketball? Yeah, some of you certainly do. And this guy was way more successful than Bronco Mendenhall ever was here. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Because there's part of me, and I'm going to tell you where I am, but I'm probably not as emotionally invested as many of you are. I am at a point where I will tell Richard congratulations and thank him for a great job here, for bringing the program back, for entertaining people, for doing great things here, and wish him the best. Sean Miller, the coach before him at Xavier, was making reportedly $4.5 million a year. I'm going to guess Richard's going to be somewhere in that zone. Does this better his career? Look, the Big East as opposed to what the Mountain West is going to look like. You guys, I mean, it is what it is. It sucks, and we can blame football for it over the last 2 decades or whatever, if you're looking for a place to blame. Now, would he have stayed anyway if the league was staying together? Would he have stayed? There's I know for a fact that Fernando and the administration put together a package, and there was an offer on the table to keep Richard here at north of $2 million. All right, $2 million, 2 point whatever is a nice amount of money. It's not 4 point whatever, right? It's not the Big East. His family, he's from back there. And I guess you asked me a question earlier, JJ. How long is long enough for a coach to stay? How long is a good run? And he was here 4 years, and he took a job in a situation. We can get into all the Wild West of college basketball. We can get into the portal. We can get into all the issues. But the way things are right now, he took a job that probably is going to pay him north of $4 million a year at a place that's stable in regards to its conference. I don't know that I can blame him. I'm not sitting here and celebrating that he's gone. I think it sucks, and we'll look forward and we'll kick around a bunch of names. But that's where I am with it. There's zero surprise, and I get it.
Yeah, and one of the things going through everything on social media last night, the reactions, and let it out, right? You're an upset fan. You feel jilted. You don't believe in anything. You just think it's always a lie when someone says they like you here. Understandable. Let that all out. But what he did was bring Lobo basketball back to prominence, raise expectations, get people excited, sell out the pit, and that's awesome. And now, is that window to do that short moving forward? Possibly. But if you are able to maintain the level of support from the fan base, from Kurt Roth being interested, having enough people around him that want to keep donating money to the NIL collective, which is still going to play a role in this, even with revenue sharing. Yes, it changes, but can you be the big dog moving forward? It's going to be hard, but the opportunity is there. And I think just this kind of situation moving forward, if you're able to connect with the coach and players, man, it reminds me a lot of New Mexico State, towards the end right there with Chris Jans. They weren't in a popping conference, and he was able to be successful and parlayed it into a Mississippi State job. All
right, let's take one before the break. 505-246-0610. Harrison, get us started. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Harrison.
Hey, we just cleared a lot of money for us to go buy us a nice coach and some players with these guys leaving. And we have the money to do that. I don't want to see that happen. I don't want to see them leave. But at the same time, we've got money to keep a coach a good salary and some NIL money that can be spent very well here in New Mexico. So it's a different NCAA. We just cleared a lot of money. I would love to keep True Washington, and certainly wouldn't mind keeping Donovan Dent and Coach Pitino. But at the same time, we've got money to spend right now, and we can buy. And this is a new NCAA. We can buy a team, and we have the money to, at a New Mexico level, we can buy a good team here. So I'm not doom and gloom. I think Pitino, that's almost a lateral move to the Xavier. I mean, Big East had 4 teams in the tournament, and we did too. Yeah, we would last as far as they did. So we're in a position to still keep going. And I don't think that this is. I mean, it'd be a lot easier to keep him, but it would cost a lot more to keep him as well. And I don't know if we could spend that kind of money. So I'm not I'm not doom and gloom. I mean,
No, it's
Patino
good. No, you got a
has-
future,
has
Harrison. There's good things coming.
Yeah, I mean, Patino came in here with the most NAL money in the Mountain West and won it. So we still have that.
Yes, you do.
And we have more now. So I wish he would stay, but
Here it is.
I think we're going to be just fine.
10-4.
I think we've got the money to do it,
Thanks,
and
man.
that's what the NCAA is now.
No.
I think we have the money to do what we've done already.
Appreciate
So,
you, man. Thanks. On the lateral thing, and I've been reading this everywhere. Xavier's not a move up. With all due respect, I mean, where this league's going to be in after next year, and I really believe Richard was looking at that. You can't tell me the Mountain West is going to be the Big East in 2 years. You just can't.
It's not, and there are plenty of reports. I'm reading a story this morning, too, from Yahoo Sports, Ross Dellinger, who's pretty much all over college athletics. The Big East,
Yeah.
not just the NIL collectives, but their revenue sharing plan in the next year or two, it's going to be $5 to $7 million per
basketball
team that they're going to have.
Yeah. So the money's there. Mud, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Mud.
Hey, good morning, guys. I was disappointed or whatever, but like I said yesterday in yesterday's show with Kenny, I think that the pit's attractive enough. Coaches want to come here, man. I mean, we got Patino here. Yeah, he did get fired at Minnesota, but that's a big name, man. Patino's a big name, so if he can come here and coach in New Mexico and do well, I expect a good coach to come in and do the same. I mean, we have to keep this rolling. We have good, like the gentleman said before, you guys have been saying it. I mean, we have the NL money. We have a little bit of money, chunk of change to get a good coach, man. I mean, like you said, the Mountain West is going to be pretty bad or whatever. It's not going to be like it was before, but I mean, I think since we lost Utah and BYU, it was the same thing then. Everybody was scared that we weren't going to have any good teams. We were going to have a one-bid team because BYU and Utah left. I mean, things could change around for UTEP. Things could change around. Grand Canyon's a good team. UC Davis is a good team. So I don't think that the Mountain West is going to go down. I think it's going to actually go up.
All right, man.
To me.
No, I appreciate you. Thanks, Mud. All right, we'll throw some names at you, too. And we can, look, Tom Crean, former Indiana coach who's on TV right now. That seems to be the way people are going, right? UNLV just went that way. James Borrego, Albuquerque Academy guy, former Charlotte Hornets coach. I'm hearing Steve Alford's name a lot, and I know that's going to just polarize this fan base. Alan Huss, Tim Miles, Rodney Terry, Jason Terry. I mean, there's a bunch of names that are being floated out there. 505-246-0610. Richard Pitino due to be with us coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. Looking for that perfect diamond? I got your spot. I got your perfect jewelry store. I got the coolest jewelry store in America, and it's right here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It is John Thomas Jewelers, and if you are looking for a diamond, go to John because he's going to Antwerp to select diamonds just for you and for a limited time. When you pre-order your Antwerp diamond starting at just $3,000, John Thomas Jewelers will give you a free engagement or anniversary upgrade ring. Your love story deserves nothing but the best. So everybody's, why Antwerp? What's the deal? Because 80% of the world's loose diamonds flow through Antwerp. That's where the finest diamonds are sourced. That means you get unmatched quality and value. John's got 35 years of diamond experience. Let him handpick a brighter, bigger, more beautiful diamond than anything you can find here in New Mexico. No mass production, no middleman. It is your perfect diamond at an incredible price. Pre-order by April 11 and let them find your one in a million diamond. Stop by John Thomas Jewelers, third floor showroom. It's at 2440 Louisiana Northeast, Suite 310, third floor of the Lewis University building on Louisiana, one block south of Manal. John Thomas Jewelers, where Albuquerque gets engaged.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Sun came out. Annie sings the sun will come out tomorrow. It did. I know you doubted it. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. 505-246-0610. Richard Pitino scheduled to be with us at 8 o'clock this morning. Kurt Roth, the founder of 505 Sports Ventures, in studio at 9. Let's go to you. Mark, good morning. Thanks for holding. You're on the Sports Animal. How are you, Mark?
Good morning, Jeff. How are you?
Life's grooving. How you doing?
I am good. So I want to throw out the first name because you're going to be getting tons of names.
Yeah.
And I know this whole thing sucks. And I tell people, enjoy the moment because these coaches, they're going to take us to the top. They're going to leave. But I want to throw the first name out in James Borrego.
Yep.
James is currently assistant coach with the New Orleans Pelicans. Yep. He was the head coach of the Charlotte Hornets. He grew up in the west side of Albuquerque, went to academy, went to USD. Now, whether he'd want to come down from the NBA, but I think somebody like James, who this is his home, his family's here, and I think he could talk players into coming.
Well, and he could get him to the NBA.
To the NBA.
Yeah, Mark, and I'm hearing he's interested. Now, I don't know that it's a done. I don't know. Fernando Lobo said he's got phone calls all morning. He could come on with us, and I appreciate that. He's got a job to do, and he's already been doing this. But I know James Borrego's on the list and everything. I don't know James. He's one of the local guys I really don't know well, but I know people who do, and from what I understand, there is interest.
Well, he is actually my brother-in-law's nephew, and he has always had a place for Albuquerque. And I think somebody like James, this is his home, and I don't think he would ever leave. He's already been to the NBA. He coached for Michael Jordan at the Charlotte Hornets.
Never say never.
Anyway, if we want to get past this, successful, and then the coach leaves, I will put a text out to James.
All right, Mark. Appreciate you. Thanks, man.
But I would love to see him.
Yeah, appreciate
Thank you,
it. Yeah. Hey, Mark, hey, send me a text because I'd like to get a hold of James too. I'd like to get him on.
Okay, I sure will, Jeff.
Yeah, send me an email. Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com.
Okay, thank you, Jeff.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I'd love to get James on here as well. Don't say never.
Yeah, I don't think that. I understand the frustration. Fans are going to be letting it out, but you're not. Like, it's not a 20-year relationship. Like, if someone's here, they're invested, they take you here, they happen to move on, okay. Like, I know it sucks as a fan.
Xavier went through it 2 days ago.
But, yeah, you don't need to hire someone just because, or they might be here 8 years, they might be here 12 years.
They brought Sean Miller back for the second time. Oh, he's going to stay this time. And as soon as he was successful, he got offered to Texas, he bolted, right? They almost brought Chris Mack back, from what I heard. This is the first time Xavier's gone outside of their family in
a
years
long
and years
time.
and years.
Now, the Sean Miller thing's interesting to me, like that he didn't believe he could win
at Xavier. And
then other people are looking at it and going, well, this is the place that I can win. And it's understandable. You know, Sean Miller looking at that SEC money and saying that's how I
You
compete
should
for
be able to
national
win at
championship.
Texas. Texas should be able to win. I don't care what league they're in, and they're in a really tough league. Xavier's interesting, right? St. John's, it's Villanova, it's Connecticut. You're up against some of the big boys.
Yeah, and I think for Pitino, of course, hopefully I have the chance to speak with him this morning about it. There's still, like, for basketball people, there's a lore about that, especially when you're a Big East guy. You know, Pitino
There's no
is
doubt.
that, like, there's, of all the movement, of all the changes, the one, like, thing that's still kind of the same, and it's Big East basketball.
And look, he's at a basketball school, right? They don't have football. Now, I don't know who's bigger in that town, Cincinnati or Xavier. I'm not familiar enough with Cincinnati, but they've got the Bengals, they've got the Reds, they got Pro Sports. It's going to be different. But again, I'm going to guess if Sean Miller's making $4.5 million, I'm going to guess Richard's making somewhere in that same ballpark. And it's a lot of guilt. JT, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. How you living, JT?
Well, I'm here to confirm, Jeff, that the sun is officially out.
All right, good.
I'm on the road by Los Lunas, so yeah, you claimed it was coming, and there it is.
I only report facts.
Yes, I'm super hurt. Okay, I've been at this for over 50 years, but it's okay. It's okay because I made the mistake of being personally hurt when Alfred left and taking it personal, and as we've evolved and I've evolved, I understand what sports is. This is where it's at. It's NIL. Coaches can leave whenever they want. Players can leave whenever they want, and that's okay. You know, I still thank Richard Pitino for bringing us, you know, to where he brought us.
Yep.
But I still have hope that we're going to be able to get just as good a coach. We're going to be just as good or better players, because we are still the best fan base in America. I don't care how much money Kansas pays their coach. We are the best basketball fans in America, and we'll be that way, and we have the pit, and whoever wants to come, big names will be wanting this job, I promise you. So let's go, Lobo Nation.
Thanks, JT.
I gotta go.
Be careful out there. Yeah, I think you're going to attract a good coach. Yeah, whether it's Tom Crean, James Borrego, Alan Huss, Jason Terry, whatever. I mean, names that aren't on the list that you don't know, whatever it is. You're going to attract a good coach. This place is a good job. It is. The conference is what the conference is going to be. There's no getting around that. So make the best of it and go win and embrace this fan base and go build something.
Fans are forever, coaches are not.
Anthony, you're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Anthony.
Hey guys, what's going on? First of all, congratulations to Patino. I mean, anybody that can go from $1.5 million to $4 million, you got to tip the hat and say, you know what, man, good for you, good for your family.
Yeah.
But as far as why he took the Xavier job, I believe it's because Villanova didn't offer, West Virginia didn't offer, Florida State didn't offer, all the schools that he was tied to didn't offer him a job, and Xavier was the one that did, so he took it because of the money, and I don't blame him. Get back east. But as far as the Lobos go, if reports are true that we can push the salary to over $2 million, then yeah, we're going to get a decent coach. Anybody's going to want to come here. You could become the Gonzaga of the Mountain West. We should dominate the new Mountain West in basketball, and we should pretty much be on the verge of a berth every year to the NCAA tournament. And the same thing for football if we do it right and we spend the money. But the one that we can't afford to lose is the guy you're going to have on at 9 o'clock. That's the guy we can't afford to lose, Kurt.
Yeah.
Kurt's the one that's bringing in the money, and I know you guys love Richard Pitino, but to me, if you look at his career, he won at a 56%. He was a barely above 500 coach until he got the big last 2 years when he got all that NIL money, and he was able to coach because he had the best talent in the Mountain West. And I don't care what anybody says, last year, best talent in the Mountain West. This year, best talent in the Mountain West, and he was able to win with that. But I don't think at Xavier, I think he's going to be 5th, 6th place every single year in the Big East. He's going to have to compete with the St. John's and the Connecticut, who are going to have more money, more resources than him. And he proved at Minnesota, if he doesn't have the resources, he doesn't win. So I'm not that crazy about losing him, but I am big on Steve Alford returning. That's the guy who can flat out coach.
See, that's going to be so polarizing. Thanks, man. That is, I can't tell you how many conversations I had about that yesterday. And the polarization of that statement right there. Some would die for him back right now. And others are like, hell freaking no. And then, well, is he going to bring noodles? Right? Patino's overall coaching record is 433 and 247. All right? Now, over the last 2 years, he's 53 and 18. So if you 40, what's 3, 13, 8, carry the 3. So he would have been 380 and what's 247 minus 18, JJ? 227, 229. So he was 380 and 229 before the last 2 seasons. I mean, he was still a winning coach. 88 and 49 at New Mexico. Like I appreciate where the last caller was from, actually. Like, he did a good job, and Kurt is key, and the money's key, and you're going to be okay. You're going to attract, now, are you going to have Donovan Dent and True Washington? I'm going to tell you, probably not. Yeah, probably not. And you're going to have 2 other guys in here now. Are you going to get somebody as good as Donovan Dent? There's not that many that are as good as Donovan Dent.
Not that many that are good.
Yeah, I'm going to argue, but probably somebody pretty good.
Yeah, and you're going to have, even if a coach isn't hired in the next 3 days, you got 1,000 players in the transfer
already
portal
in a day and a half.
That's going to keep going up.
Yep.
There's good players out there that will pop. We know it, for all these schools that are sitting here doing the same exact thing today and wondering what's next, how are we supposed to survive, coaching changes, transfer portal. Put your head down and get to work. You can put a competitive team together.
Yeah. All right, 505-246-0610. Kurt Roth scheduled to be here at 9. Richard Pitino at 8. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM at AM 610 Sports Animal.
This report.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Like, who do you want to see in? You like the names James Borrego? He's in the NBA, Albuquerque guy. Alan Huss, former Lobo assistant who coached High Point to the tournament. Tom Crean, the former Indiana coach, who's doing TV now. Rodney Terry, who just got let go at Texas. That'd be an interesting little loop, right? Sean Miller goes to from Xavier to Texas. Rodney Terry goes Texas to New Mexico, and Richard goes from New Mexico to Xavier. Like, that would be a weird little triangle. I guess it could happen. Jason Terry. Craig Smith's name is out there, the former Utah State coach who just got fired at Utah. Tim Miles. People love Tim Miles. I guess he was the runner-up for the job last time, right, when Richard got the job. He's at San Jose State. Steve Alford. Oh, yeah, the last caller just said that. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? 505-246-0610. That's the text line. Let me get you some of these. Gents, both coaches who left, he's talking about Patino and Bronco Mendenhall. You've dealt with this twice in the last 3 months now. Both coaches who left were Eddie hires, and we had a good, viable conference, which are both gone. I don't blame either one for leaving. That's my opinion from Steve. Okay? This one says UNM was prepared to pay Coach Pitino over $2 million to coach. I really hope UNM administration does not get cheap on the fans. The caliber and quality of coaching names open to us if we pay that amount seems pretty high. Please don't get cheap on us, Lobo. Lobo fan doesn't need another decades-long rebuild. I don't believe that that's going to be. I don't know if they're going to go to the $2 million mark right away. Richard was making 1.2. I mean, we'll see. But if the money's there, the money's there. And how do you feel about? I mean, as much as losing Pitino, Dent, and True, well, you lost your starting backcourt yesterday too into the portal. This one says Kenny Thomas for coach. Okay. This one says someone that wants to be here and loves New Mexico. That's from Mike. This one says from Steve, gents, that caller that said Pitino isn't that good of a coach is watching a different game than I watch. Did you see his players willing to run through a wall for him? Sounds like sour grapes to me. This one says, congrats to Coach Pitino. He succeeded in bringing the program back. We'll pull for him wherever he goes. As for the next coach, let's bring Coach Alford back. When Nelly hit that game winner against Nevada, you can sense that Alford was envious of this crazy fan base and the support that the program gets when it's winning. That's something that he didn't have at Nevada. I also think that if he comes, he brings Nick Davison along as the other talent. Nick Davison's in the transfer portal, already left him. It's crazy, all the Alford talk already. But this is about like $1 million, right?
It's probably a good chunk of change. He has $5.9 million left on his contract, which is all guaranteed.
Yeah. All right, let's go. Edward, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Edward.
Jeff and JJ, good morning. It's difficult times in the kingdom, right? So about a month ago, I called and I said, I think we all like to romanticize the past, and there's a great history here. And this coming from a person who's very objective. I'm not a huge Lobo fan, but I really wish they do well. And I was vastly entertained this year. Guys, what we're watching now, people should need to change their mindset. We're watching minor league professional sports. Even though the jersey may say University of Mexico, make no mistake, this is minor league professional sports. And the sooner you come to that conclusion and you realize what you are and what you're not, and who you are and who you're not, then it settles in quicker, right? What I mean, let me expand on that. These are professional athletes, right? One of my employees at work, his niece dates the second-string tight end that was on the team this year, and he's going to the University of Mississippi. UNM offered the individual $50,000 as an NIL deal, and Mississippi offered him $100,000. Backup tight end in the University of Mexico. So I just think that we have to break down our mindset and say New Mexico could very well be in the future a developmental program for the major colleges, meaning you come in and these are employees of the university. I don't even care if they go to class. I don't care if they even register for classes. These are employees of the university that are providing entertainment and generating income and revenue for the university. The sooner people get to that mindset, the better it is for everybody. And we can still romanticize the past, and it's the University of Mexico, and it's great. And we all had a great time following this team. But it's the very same model as the European soccer leagues, where there's layers of universities, and they're all development opportunities for bigger organizations. But I'd share that with you. You can expand on it. And good luck to Mr. Pitino. I thought he did a great job, and he was very honorable, and I'm a big fan of him.
Thanks, man.
Have a great day.
Look, I mean, every fan base in this league right now is feeling this, right? I mean, ask San Diego State. They went to the finals 2 years ago, and their roster got picked apart too. Who's got more money? What coach was it recently? Who was it Alford? Right? When he was talking about, it used to be, what about facilities? And now the question is how much?
How much?
How much?
Yeah, that's the Edward's not wrong about that. But are you going to be able to separate men's basketball and football from everything? Because it doesn't work that way for every sport on campus. Just because you're an athlete that you don't have to show up and go to school, because the majority of those athletes are not getting NIL money.
And they want to go to school, by the way. And the majority of those athletes want to get an education and go to school. Mike, good morning. Thanks for holding. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Mike.
Hey, great morning. I just want to say thanks to the coach and the players that will always be Lobos, first of all. but I woke up excited about the opportunity that we're has put upon us for the future in regards to getting our new coach. And my thoughts on that is, if you get someone established, we bring in some of their already players that are familiar with their schemes. And if you bring in someone new, then we have to be prepared for a rebuilding program, because they're gonna have to build staff. They probably don't have a lot of
what staff
connections.
They bring. Yeah.
And one of the questions is, any of these teams that have gone to the NCAA, and earned the money like San Diego, that is paid out in years. What happens once they leave? Does that
it stays with the
come to
conference. No, it stays
Mountain West.
Yeah, it stays with the conference. Yes. Yep, it'll stay with the Mountain West.
Well, but I think my main thing is, the discussion is going to be: do we really go for the long build program, or do we go for? I think Albuquerque is all about, we need to see results next year.
This isn't going to be a long build.
You got to bring a coach that has players.
Appreciate you, Mike. Yeah, this won't be a long build, and thanks for the call. Can I throw one more name at you? That,
of course,
you and Bob was in here. What about Isaac Chu, the associate head coach, the lead assistant on this team, who recruits a lot of these guys? Would that help keep the roster together? Is he ready to be a head coach?
I don't have a problem with throwing his name on the list. I think the initial reaction from Lobo fans is, do you not remember Craig Neal?
Right, I understand. I'm pretty sure Isaac Chu doesn't have a kid who's going to come and play on the team and lose, right?
And it's a different era. When you look at some of these names, you react differently, because as people are learning, as people know, the general manager is going to be in the studio at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, no doubt.
And
Kurt
that
Ralph
is
gonna
a
be here.
huge piece to this puzzle.
Well, I'll run it by him. All right, Richard Pitino due to be with us in about 16 minutes from now at 8 o'clock this morning. Kurt Roth, 505 Sports Ventures, will be in at 9. 505-246-0610. Why don't you come on in? Tax season's here. What are you going to do with your return? You get some money back? How about taking care of one of your biggest investments, your vehicle? Probably need to put a little bit of investment in protecting your car with the incredible services from my good friends over at On the Spot Automotive Detailing, talking about their paint protection film and their ceramic coating. This will all help prevent those nasty scratches, the stains, fading paint, all this wind and junk that goes through the air in the spring. Call On the Spot. They were awarded best in the city because they are best in the city. Know what it takes to provide quality care for your vehicle. Protect your car's value. Book with them online today at otsdetailing.com and have them come out and detail your vehicle inside, outside, around the rims, under the hood. And remember that they do it at your place. You don't take it to them. They bring their mobile unit. Their people come out. And when they're done, your car looks and feels and smells like the day you took it off the lot. Brand new car feeling without that brand new car price. It's On the Spot Automotive Detailing. Go look at them and buy online at otsdetailing.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All In Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro.
I'm reading a lot online, and we're going to go to the phones here at 505-246. Richard Pitino due to be with us in 10 minutes. He lied, and he said, I don't know that he ever lied. I never heard Richard Pitino say, I'm not going anywhere. He said, I asked for transparency. Obviously, there was transparency inside because Donovan Dent and True Washington beat him out the door, basically, right? So they knew that he was in conversations with other schools yesterday. I've seen, Xavier talked to him 3 times. I heard the athletic director came out and flew out. And we'll talk to Richard about the process, and he'll share whatever he can. But I don't know that he ever said, I'm staying here forever. And he was pretty clear he was unhappy with the way the league was going to look after next year. I don't know that he ever lied to you. And people I get you're hurt that your coach left. I just don't know that when he says it's a special fan base, I think he believes it. I always thought he appreciated what he had here. And I'll ask you again, what's a good run? What's a long enough run? And this was 4 years. So 505-246-0610. Deanna, thanks for holding. Good morning, Deanna. You're on the Sports Animal.
Hey, Jeff. Good morning. Thank you for taking my call. I know this is going to come out of left field, but why do we always have to go after a college coach? I know it's money. There's some good high school coaches everywhere, especially in the state of New Mexico. I mean, I'm on the run right now. Let's bring the Brown brothers in, Danny and Greg Brown. For all I care, they could get Coach Coleman as the water boy. But, I mean, why is it that we have to go spend all this money? I just don't get it.
How much do you think that, you would say just bring them in on the cheap, like one of the Browns?
No, give them, of course, but we're not going to pay them $1 million, I bet.
Why not? Yeah, why not, though? I mean, if that's what the job pays, if that's market value, if you said, hey, Danny Brown or Greg Brown was your guy, or, I don't know, package deal, why don't they do it? Because the intricacies of the college game, if there has been no connection to the college game, the recruiting and everything that goes on, there is a big learning curve. Now, I know back in the day when Don Flanagan left El Dorado High School and took over Lobo women's basketball, but that was a program that had nothing to lose, right? That was a program that was drawing 55 people a game and had nothing to lose, and so you hired a legendary coach, and he turned that program into something special. Went to the Sweet 16, but why? Because, how's he going to recruit? Who's he going to recruit? What is the recruiting ties? These are all things that an athletic director and a committee is going to ask. Where are you going to get players from? What do you know about the college game? And I don't know what Greg and or Danny or any of the other high school coaches know. Usually it'll be done at a level of a program that's kind of really, really struggling and needs a boost and needs some local push, and that's not where this program is. Does that make sense?
I know. Just trying to put something different out there.
No, I appreciate
but
it.
the sun did rise, and there's a dew on the roses today. So
Kinda
thank you
crazy
very
how that
much
happened.
for everything you guys do.
Yeah, don't be a stranger, Deanna. Call us again. Thank you. I'm good with her thinking out of the box too. I've got no issue with that. And I hear all the time, why not local coaches? What about high school coaches? This job right now, where this program is and where you expect it to be, I think you feel you need a proven coach with that's done it at the pro or the college level. Aaron, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Aaron.
Hey, guys, I just wanted to have Lobo, faithful there, sort of calm down a little bit. Just reminding everyone, in his 4 years here, he finished above sixth once.
Yep.
And if we're talking about, it's not like Alfred, who had, multiple conference championships, multiple NCAA appearances. I mean, if you look at his postseason record, they got smoked in the NIT here by Utah Valley State. They caught lightning in a bottle, won the tournament, got smoked by Clemson. They had a good run this year. So, I think Pitino was a good coach, but I don't think he's irreplaceable.
No, he's not.
I think there are a lot of good coaches out there that we're going to be able to get. And then sort of piggybacking off what the last caller said, you can't hire a high school basketball coach to coach a Division I college basketball team. Right. We have to go out and get someone who has been a head coach at a D1 school before. I don't know. Is Jawan Howard interested in it? I bet you he could recruit some people out here. Those are just my thoughts. And like I said, I don't think Pitino was anywhere close to the success that Alfred had this program at. Alfred had this program in a much better position than Pitino ever did or ever could do, I think.
Thank you, Aaron.
Bye.
Appreciate you. Richard did a hell of a job here. He did. You're going to be okay. Do I have time for one more? I don't. All right. Richard Pitino is going to be with us coming up here at the top of the hour. That's 8 o'clock. Richard did a hell of a job here. And Alfred came in, and it was a mess, too. But where Richard took over, what was it, 6 wins the year prior? Right, Paul's last year? And did get you the NIT. Yeah, they lost. Got you 2 straight NCAA tournaments. The last caller's not wrong. They finished 2 years prior to this. They finished 6th in the league. They did win and cut down nets this year. They did win a championship. I think most Global fan is in the right. Well, I say the right the place where I am with this, and from my perspective, it makes sense. Congratulations, man. Go make your money. Go further your career. Do what's best for your family. Thank you for what you've done here. You left the place. Did he leave the place in a better position than when he found it? The answer is yes. Now you're going to tell me the roster's gutted. Yeah, but you're going to be. Is it gutted? You lost your backcourt, and I think you're in a place where it's attractive, and you're going to be able to find somebody to come in here and recruit. Richard Pitino is next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 50.
He is now the former head coach at the University of New Mexico. It sounds so bizarre. The head coach at Xavier University. Richard Pitino joins us on the Sports Animal this morning. Richard, congratulations. How you doing? Did you sleep at all?
Not much. Yeah, former head coach sounds obviously very strange, but no, not a lot of sleep. Excited. It's bittersweet. Really loved my time here. It's not so much about New Mexico as much as it is, just getting back east, getting in the Big East, all those things. But very, very grateful for this time. And we met so many good people, and just this community just treated me amazingly.
Why was this the job? And it was the process. I guess yesterday was crazy, and I don't know what's true as far as reports, whether, I heard you talk to VCU, West Virginia, Villanova, Xavier. Why was this one the one? And as much as you can share the process, I'd ask you to share.
Yeah, I mean, the process. Here's what I would tell you about the process. It's challenging. You try very, very hard to do right by everybody. You're put in difficult situations, not necessarily like feel bad for me, but it's hard to do right by everybody in every single situation. Me and Fernando communicated every time a school reached out to me. That's not to say that, people offered me or whatever. It wasn't, it was all going to be about fit with me. And, getting back to the East certainly was appealing from a family situation. My parents are getting older. Jill's parents are getting older. With the new model of sports, I think a Big East school honestly was appealing because you don't have to share the money with football. Not that I don't love football, but I think everybody's trying to figure out how to pay and what to do and this and that. So it's a little bit clearer there. And, I went to a private Catholic school. Xavier is that. And, it just felt right. Obviously, a lot of emotions of leaving here, but it had the right feeling more than anything.
Richard Pitino's with us on the Sports Animal. I know you and Fernando have been talking over time, and I understand there was an extension and an offer on the table. How seriously did you consider that, and what put it over the top for you to say, you know what, I got to go?
Yeah, Fernando was amazing. We had these conversations the last 2 months. I can tell Lobo fans, Fernando Lobo is legitimately one of the rising stars as it pertains to being athletic director. And he was the reason why I turned down some other opportunities, because I really, really believed in him and still do believe in him. It just, again, it came down to fit more than anything. The reason why, the Big East to me was very, very appealing. I'm very honest about the new Mountain West. That did bother me. And I just felt like this was the right fit moving forward. But Fernando was amazing. President Stokes, all of the supporters were really, really good. And it made it very difficult for me, for sure. But it didn't have, like I said, it didn't have a whole lot to do with here as much as it was just family getting a little bit back east. Just made a lot of sense to us.
Yeah, you had mentioned the way the Mountain West is going to look after next year, and I know that had bothered you, and that played a part because you're going to a league that's considered a power league, and I guess stability is probably the right word there.
Yeah, and I will tell you this, all the people are in place, Fernando, Ryan Berman, Jim Dominguez, President Stokes, they understand how important basketball is to this community. And I know when you have football that can be hard, but I do know that they are committed to keeping this thing moving in the right direction. And, that was obviously very important. So the breakup of the new Mountain West, I don't think it's the death of Lobo basketball at all. It's not the reason that I left. I do think it's going to be a little bit more challenging, and I think the people that really care, the Kurt Ross and the administration and so on, they're going to be the reason why Lobo basketball will be the best job in that league moving forward. So, as long as this community continues to care about Lobo basketball, it doesn't matter who the coach is, it's always going to be a special basketball job.
He's former Lobo basketball coach Richard Pitino with us on the Sports Animal.
Richard, you came in and you're confident and you believed you could win championships at the University of New Mexico. You did that. But your time here in New Mexico, what did you learn maybe that you didn't expect, whether it was on or off the court, that helped you get to this point?
Well, I'm very proud of our success, but I also know that I'm not the only reason why we were successful. I had great support. Obviously, the 15,000 fans that showed up, like that, just the most amazing experience ever. But, the world changed when I took this job as it pertains to college basketball. And you got a guy like Kurt Roth who was so ready to go and so eager to be a partner in this whole thing. You had people helping him along the way that were just such good people. You had, obviously we had a shift in administration, and I really give credit to President Stokes to hire an amazing replacement to Eddie. But I think at the end of the day, what I learned more than anything is every job is different, but you cannot do it alone. And I know for a fact I did not do this alone. And I woke up really early this morning. I probably forgot some people, but there were a lot of people I reached out to thank them for being able to get me this opportunity, and also for providing the resources to put us in position to have great success.
Coach, you mentioned all this stuff when it comes to family and getting back, in that area of the country. But the Big East, throughout all the change of college athletics, has still been able to maintain just that aura of basketball, of being a basketball league. How do you think they've been able to do that, and those schools have been able to stay successful in this new era?
Well, they're all similar schools, and that's what I liked about the Mountain West was, everybody had, besides maybe the bottom, the San Jose's of the world, Air Force is obviously unique, Fresno as it pertains to basketball, like everybody's similar in resources. And that's the cool part about it. Most of them are private Catholic schools besides UConn. You've got an amazing tournament in Madison Square Garden. And now you've got, honestly, you've got a bit of an advantage because share with football. And so I think everybody's trying to figure out how to, operate within this new system. Who knows if it changes again? But you've just got schools that really, really care about basketball.
Richard, you talked the other day about transparency through this process, and I've got to believe there were conversations with the players. We saw Donovan and True go into the portal earlier in the day. How'd those conversations go? And I know they both said, there's a possibility we come back, and I'm not asking you what are they going to do, but how'd those conversations go? Because I'm going to assume those are the conversations that led to them going into the portal.
Yeah, they didn't leave because they thought I was leaving. I did not know I was getting off the job until last night, so I had no idea what road that was going to go down. Everybody's got to look at this is True. Everybody's got value right now, and they're not able to really know their value unless they enter into the transfer portal. Like, it's almost unfair to them in a certain sense. Like, if I was trying to look for another job, right, and I had to enter a portal, like, how would New Mexico feel about me doing that? You know what I mean? So they did a really, really good job of impacting this school. They did a really good job of increasing their value. Donovan will probably be one of the most sought transfers in college basketball. And he's going to have opportunities to make money that who knows if he'll ever make again, And when he sat down with me and kind of told me where his head was at, I said, you got to enter the portal. You got to do it. This is life-changing opportunities. Like, I don't want to see you go, but it's just too good of an opportunity to pass up. So True's the same way. And I think what fans are going to have to realize, and I hope they realize it with me, like, just help us win. And if you help us win and you get another opportunity somewhere, we'll cheer for you, just like a JT and certainly Donovan and True and those guys won 2 championships. They were the reason the pit was packed and provided so many amazing memories.
Yeah. Richard, how much of the reports were true? Whatever you can share. Everybody, there was so much from Villanova to West Virginia to VCU. And I got to believe that, at some point, your phone had to go on charge yesterday. How much were there conversations with all of them? How many, as much as you feel comfortable sharing, how many schools did you talk to since Sunday?
Well, I won't get into specifics because, the hard part is, like, when people hear, oh, you interviewed for a job, like, you have a conversation. That doesn't mean I want it. That doesn't necessarily mean they want me. It's a hard process in the sense of, you're going to take a phone call and just kind of see where everybody's at, and you communicate certainly with your administration on that. And I did that, and I could put my head on the pillow and say that I was 1,000% transparent and not secretive with Fernando, with everything. I can't let the fans know everything that's going on. That's just silly. But at the end of the day, like, I came to work yesterday to meet with my team and not to say, hey, you have to come back, because the landscape has changed. But, yes, several schools reached out yesterday. Only one school offered me the job, and that was Xavier last night. I didn't know that was going to come. It was certainly something that really, really intrigued me to get back east, to be in the Big East. But it was not something that I knew. And the first person I called was Fernando Lobo to tell him, because I've got so much respect for him. And, then it was reaching out to the players and making sure they understood where my head was at.
Coach, fans, they're fanatics, right? And they're going to just feel one way or the other. But when you talk about this fan base and you saw it firsthand what did they mean to you? And just, as a fan trying to wrap your head around when someone says, oh, they love you, but that's true, but you still can move on in life. But just this fan base, what did you make of what they were to Lobo basketball?
It meant everything. It brings tears to my eyes, the treatment that they gave my family. Jack, I know we kind of joke about it, but meant so much to me. I don't want to say I came to New Mexico a broken man, but I will say I was really down. I felt bad that, I had to move my family because I was not able to succeed enough at Minnesota. And New Mexico, welcomed us in with open arms. And, all the talk throughout the 4 years that I had of appreciating the fans, whether it was at home, whether it was on the road, whether it was at Mountain West Tournament, that was sincere. It really was. And that's why this program will always be special, is because it matters to this community. So, like I said before, I've done my best this morning, got up early to really reach out and give a personal touch to the people that meant so much to me. You hate to let people down. You don't want to do that. But it is also the nature of the beast. And I am so very grateful for the people that came up to me and treated my family with such great class. And they really, really, rejuvenated my career. And I don't take that lightly, and I really appreciate it.
How is your family with it? I saw enough on social media that people just say, you can go, but leave Jack behind because he's a fan favorite. How's he dealing with it? I'm assuming Jill's happy to get back east.
Yeah, the timing of it was right because, and this is what fans probably don't understand, my daughter Ava, although we loved, this Albuquerque Academy was great. She's going into high school, so if you can figure out a way maybe to time that, it works. Jack and Zoe are still young. Zoe was emotional because she's 8 years old, and Ava was really emotional. I think Jack was trying to process it all, and I just explained to them, guys, I moved a lot when I was younger, and for Ava in her formative years of her life, I thought the timing was really, really good to not be able to start her with a year or two in high school. That was important to me.
It is.
Jill's another one too. She has great friends here. Anyone that says that we didn't like it here, you're crazy. I loved it here. The people were so good to us. I love the quality of life. I love the weather, the way everybody treated us. But yeah, it's hard. It's emotional. But we're also very, very excited about what the future holds at Xavier.
So much has been made in the national headlines. Oh, you and your dad. And look, you're going to get to see your mom more. Nobody ever asked about your mom. You're going to get to see your mom a whole lot more now, too. But somebody asked me the other day, he's not going to go to the Big East. I said, he's not going to run from going against his dad. I don't know if that – I'm going to guess that played zero part, and maybe I'm wrong, in you taking this job, the fact that your dad's in that league.
Zero. Yeah. He's in the Naismith Hall of Fame. I don't try to live up to him. The only real time we ever talk about these things is through media, which is fine. I understand it. He was ecstatic that I was going to Xavier. I will say this, nobody appreciated New Mexico more than him. And any time a job would call, he used to always say, stay in New Mexico, stay in New Mexico. What was hard about just being out west when your whole family is east is time zones. They don't watch your games, this and that. So just that part of it, kind of like you mentioned, I do have other people in my family besides my dad. And I have a mom, who just had major back surgery and had some health issues. And so I'll be able to kind of see her and nieces and nephews, and it'll just be a little bit easier. I'm not saying that was the main factor, but certainly the comfort level of all that as my parents and family grows older, that'll be really nice to be near them.
Yeah. Different deal in Cincinnati, right? You got pro teams, you got the University of Cincinnati's there. It's a different spotlight. But you think that's I don't know, better or worse isn't the right way to ask that question, but it's certainly going to be different following than the rabid fan base when the fishbowl that is New Mexico basketball.
Yeah, it'll be different. They still love basketball. There are no pro basketball teams. They love the Bengals. They love the Reds. You've probably got your Cincinnati UC contingent. You got your Xavier crew. So there's enough support to go around. You're getting 10,000 fans a game. It's a great on. I was not going to go because of the drug that was the Pit and the fan base, it was going to be very, very hard for me to go to a place that doesn't pack it. And that's a testament to, our fans here at New Mexico. So a little bit more, but not in a bad way. And, like I said, I mean, it's got nothing to do with New Mexico. Everything, the 4 years here were phenomenal.
Now, I think most Lobo fan is in a place where they're saying best of luck to you. Thank you for leaving the place in a better position than it was, and wishing you the best of luck. I think New Mexico's program is in a good position to attract a terrific coach and continue the success. But I think the majority of fan is in that place where, hey, thank you for 4 years and best of luck to you, and probably going to root for you. If you had one last thing to say to this fan base, and certainly an opportunity here as you're on your way to the Big East, what would you say to Lobo fan?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to start crying, Jeff, but it's thank you. As I said before, like when I moved here and picked up my family who had never been here, I took a chance and a risk because I believed in the fan base in the Pit. I didn't know a whole lot more about Albuquerque. And, they brought me back to life. They got me believing in myself again. I was certainly very down on myself after Minnesota getting fired at a young age. And, these people treated me like I was John Wooden. And that just fueled me. And that gave me belief in myself. And it reshaped me as a person. The memories that I'm going to have, like I always tell Jill, like if we ever do leave this place, we're going to look back and smile and really appreciate how refreshing everybody was. So, as you said, I mean, I know I'm not the only coach that has won here. I really do believe we've left it better than we found it. That's not a knock on anybody. And I truly believe Fernando, his staff, they're going to find an amazing coach and get Lobo basketball back on track again. So I'm very proud of it. I'm sad to leave, but I'm certainly excited about the future.
Yeah, on a personal note, I filled in. I was a fill-in radio guy, and I went 3-4 games a year, and you treated me like I was part of your team. You invited me into meetings. We had good conversations. So on a personal level, I appreciate the way you treated me as a fill-in and made me feel so comfortable when I had to fill Robert Portnoy's shoes. So for that, I'm appreciative. I know you and I will stay in touch, but I wish you the best of luck. Best to Jill and to Ava and Zoe and to Jack. And I think, on behalf of, right, JJ?
Absolutely.
On behalf of Lobo fans, we appreciate the professional relationship we had and certainly the personal relationship you and I have. Best of luck to you, my friend, and congratulations, and thank you for everything you did for this community.
Well, thank you so much, Jeff. I mean, you're getting me emotional right now. It's a special place, and it's always going to be a special job. So we will miss it dearly. We're very, very grateful for everybody. So thank you so much.
Be well. I'll be in touch. Safe travels, and best to you, Richard. Thanks for everything.
Thank you.
Take care. He is former Lobo coach Richard Pitino. All right, you respond. I know we went really long. The next segment will be very short. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gala Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Can't be the expectation.
All right, let's go to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Ted, you're on the Sports Animal. How's my buddy Trax?
He sends his best, Jeff. He sends his best. We're doing well out here. You know, Richard will be right down the street from me in Cincinnati. I do have to warn him that the Skyline chili is not anywhere close to the chili of New Mexico.
Yeah, he better know that. He better know that.
You know, I've been a season ticket holder, Jeff. You know me a long time, since 1977. I'm not mad at Patino. I'm glad that he's able to move on and do stuff for his family. He talked about his family, and I had children, and I didn't make the move back to Pennsylvania until my kids were grown, and I understand the reasons why. I'm mad at the process of the NCAA because I believe it's gotten totally out of control with the transfer portal. There are players out there that are making more money than the bottom third of NBA players who are proven. I think it's broken. It needs to be fixed. You wouldn't see as much of the changing of the guards, so to speak, I don't believe. And that's just my frustration. I mean, as a fan, my wife, we went to Cleveland. It was an hour and 30 minutes from our front door to Cleveland to the Rocket Arena. And she looked at me yesterday and said, wow, we just spent $300 to go watch a team that's not even a team anymore. it's hard as a fan to justify that, if you know what I'm saying.
But if you don't embrace it, then college athletics just aren't for you anymore. And I'm not telling you have to love it, but it's the way it is. And I don't like it. Here's what I think the biggest issue is. It's the portal, it's the NIL. I think it's the unlimited transfer, to be honest with you.
Yes. Absolutely. That needs to stop, Jeff. I mean, what they need to do to get, because this is not student athletes anymore. This is semi-pro.
That's right.
And so a couple things have to happen. Number one, the NCAA has to put limits on the transfers, and or if you go somewhere else and you signed a letter of intent at, let's say, New Mexico, and you leave as a sophomore like True is going to do, then you then owe the university 2 years of a full out-of-state scholarship back to the university, as well as a transfer fee to go to somewhere else if you're taking NIL money. I think that would curb a lot of this. I'm not saying the guys shouldn't get paid. I believe they should. But I look back at all the years, the Clayton Shields, the Royce Olney's, the guy blew his knee out, remember?
Yeah.
They got nothing.
No, that's
they
right.
couldn't even work for me when I had a business in Albuquerque, or they lose their scholarship. But these guys now, it's the Wild Wild West, guns flying. It's crazy. And as a fan, man, I got 3 pro teams here, and I hate to say this, my Penguin season tickets are cheaper than my Lobos season tickets.
Yeah, that's probably right. Although they'll go up as soon as the Penguins get good again. Great to hear you, my friend.
Hey, you take care. Thanks.
Be well. Back in the day, I did an eye challenge when his son was like way little. We did a video game challenge with him way back in the day.
That's awesome. The one, the NIL conversation is an expanded one. There's a lot of changes coming this summer with the revenue sharing and
the unlimited transfer is the one that
the unlimited transfers is frustrating, but also I do have to push back on the penalties for it. I think maybe 1 or 2 year NIL deals, I guess, is something you could have, but you have to have everyone on board to quote unquote penalize someone for leaving. Like, you don't penalize players in sports.
Yeah,
contracts. I know people are like, well, if they're making NIL money, if they suck, then we should be able to cut them.
Yeah.
Okay, or take their money. Well, bad players can still make money sometimes.
Yeah, it's a good conversation. We'll have with Kurt Roth coming up at 9:00. The text line is just bonkers. I'm going to get to as many of those as I can. Jeffrey, stand by. I got to get this thing somewhat back on a clock. So 505-246-0610. You heard Richard Pitino. That's I believe the only conversation that he's had since he's announced, and you can respond to what he had to say. 505-246-0610. Protect your home, protect your business with International Protective Service. IPS watches my home. They protect my family. My neighbors use them as well. They're at businesses and neighborhoods all over town. You've seen them. Affordable private security. They keep the bad guys away because you've worked too damn hard to build what you've built to have a bad guy come in here and steal and break it up to destroy it. They respond within 5 to 7 minutes when an alarm goes off, does IPS, at a property that they monitor. They install alarms and cameras, and they have a state-of-the-art facility monitoring those cameras 24/7, all raises the level of security around your home and business. So who's watching your home when you're away? Make sure it's the good guys. IPS, 505-897-2420, 505-897-2420, or online at ipsglobal.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
We would would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong and we're still as local as red and green.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities.
Founder of 505 Sports Ventures, the collective that's raising the money. And you heard Richard Pitino talk about Kurt quite a bit. We'll talk to Kurt about what's next. Richard Pitino was with us. If you missed that, want to hear it, it's and I got great response on that. I think really the response is appreciative that Richard was on there. Thanks a bunch to Richard for being forthcoming about talking with the fan base. We'll always root for you when you're playing anybody but the Lobos. My phone's been blowing up, but appreciate it. You can listen to it on our website, sportsanimalabq.com, and wherever you get your podcast, just go to Opening Drive when you're there. after the show. Yeah, it's not up yet. Jeffrey, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Thanks for holding.
Hey, man. You know what? Thanks for that interview with Pitino. I mean, I think a lot of people, hopefully a lot of people heard that interview, and I think you could hear the sincerity in his voice. And, you know, as much as we can feel good about the situation while listening to him talk, you should hopefully have some happiness for him and his family, and also understand that it wasn't personal, it was business. And, you know, he gave all the reasons why he did what he did, but moreover, he expressed his care and concern and appreciation for the fan base and the town. And at the end of the day, he said it. He left it in a better place than when he found it. And I think a lot of fans take this stuff kind of personal, and I get it, because we all know what fan is short for. So what we do now is, you know, the reality of the situation is what it is, and we hope that we can find a good replacement. And I just got to say something. Two things. Let's stop the Michael Cooper talk. He doesn't have the degree. First of all, let's get that off the table. And second, I don't know how I feel about this Alford talk. I think I would be okay with it as long as Neil didn't come with him, and I won't go into those reasons. You probably know it's a lot of off-the-court stuff. But there's going to be an attraction to this program. A lot of because Pitino left it in the condition that it is. When he came here, it was down, right? And so now it's this program. You're being handed a gem. And so I think we're going to get a good coach. There's a lot of up-and-comers out there, like Eric Olin over at UCSD. And I really like Alan Huss. He has connections here, and he was tied to La Lumiere, which is a recruiting pipeline. So there's up-and-comers. There's probably going to be some that you might not have expected. And I think the future is bright for us. And, you know, forget all the NIL and the conference change and stuff like that from a pure basketball standpoint. I think we're okay, and I'm glad to see that there's passion and respect has been restored to the program.
Right on, man. Good to hear you. Thank you.
Yep.
Let's keep it going. Joel, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Joel.
Hi. I was just thinking of Tim Miles right off.
Okay. Yeah, Tim Miles' name has come up quite a bit at San Jose State, who I believe was the runner-up for this job when Richard got it 4 years ago. Yep.
Well, he did a great job coaching San Jose State, and if you can do good there, my goodness.
Okay.
And he did good at Colorado State. He could do fantastic here.
Got it.
And I think he would actually stay around.
Maybe. All right, Joel, thank you. Appreciate you. You know, I was lukewarm on Tim Miles back 4 years ago, right? And I think he's a good coach. I mean, he's done probably as well with what he's got up there, right? I thought he's recruited well. They've got some players. Deje's good. He did well at Colorado State. Went to Nebraska. It was a tough. Nebraska's a tough job. I mean, Fred Hoiberg's finding that out, right? Nebraska's a tough job in the Big Ten. He's a name that's mentioned. The names I'm hearing, kind of the most noise, hearing Tom Crean, which I excites me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. The James Borrego thing I really like. I do. Now, James Borrego, and I told you I don't know James. I don't know what his recruiting pipeline would be.
Well,
and then the Isaac Chu thing is interesting as well. The assistant, the lead assistant here.
Yes, and I don't think that I would poo-poo that at all. And I know the initial reaction from some fans will be, do you remember Craig Neal? Times have changed, man. And that's why you need a relationship builder, but you don't have to, like, it doesn't have to be the perfect recruiter, man. Like, we're not looking, it's not the way basketball is built these days. If you can find one or two freshmen that come in, have an impact for a year or two, awesome, just like you saw with True Washington. Heck, Donovan Dent coming into the program. But that doesn't concern me as much anymore. Like, if you've never been in college basketball recruiting circles, I'm not worried about that because you have an NIL budget now.
And you hire people who have.
Yeah, and so to me, I actually think that Lobo basketball is in a good place to get a really good coach, but there's also a little wiggle room where it's not like after the Craig Neal era.
No.
Right? Like where you had to hit it because if you don't have a recruiter, you're never going to get players. No, it's a little bit different. There's some wiggle room where you can get a good coach that doesn't necessarily have to have this perfect background tied to every high school in the country.
Is there something to, like I get it, everybody wants to name, like Josh Pastner, the name that UNLV hired, there's a little buzz. Is there something to, at the University of New Mexico, you hire a guy that is on a bench in the NBA right now and like 2 years ago was a head coach in the National Basketball Association?
Absolutely.
There is, right?
Yeah.
Like a guy, an NBA coach. You know, Mike Brown. Mike Brown's name's going to come up too. The Mike Brown who just got fired by the Sacramento Kings. Elijah Brown's dad. Remember Elijah played here? His name comes up every time this job's open. And from what I understand, he's here quite often and would like this job. Like, would Mike Brown do something for you?
Absolutely. Like, those are guys that are on the list.
I mean, the guy who coached LeBron? Yeah.
Yes. Because, again, you're in position to get good candidates at the University of Mexico. It also doesn't have to be like the perfect, college X's and O's. I do think that I'm not then advocating, as some people say, we bring in a high school coach. No, but because you have a strong NIL collective, because you have the passion,
you have resources.
The resources open the pool a lot wider to good candidates.
I agree. We get as many. I mean, keep them coming. The text line is so bonkers right now, and I love it, and thank you. Keep them coming at 505-246-0610. Steve says, gents, that caller said Pitino isn't that good of a coach, is watching a different game than I watched. The juiciest, we already read you that one. Congrats to Coach Pitino. He succeeded in bringing the program back. We'll pull from wherever he goes. As for the next coach, let's bring Alfred back. Okay. We need a coach like Randy Bennett or Mark Few who are happy being at a mid-major and not looking to bounce. Not sure what their salaries are, which may be a factor. Okay. Players and coaches leaving schools for better opportunities happens all the time. The goal of the left behind is to be as good in the next step it takes. Okay. The problem it continues. The problem UNM faces as it looks for a replacement is it suffers a lot of bad in succession of its previous good. I'm not sure what that means. Who out there is as good or better than Pitino? Look, man, there's a lot of good coaches. Everybody on that list right there, and there's some that we're not talking about. Tom Crean's a good coach. James Borrego's a damn good coach. Alan Huss, a hell of a coach. Eric Olin is a really good coach.
This has changed so much than in the past. Again, like the coming off of Craig Neal era, or even before that, like where there's a ramp. You had to recruit players. If you brought a transfer in, he was sitting a year. Like that's changed. You have the resources plus an era where good players can come in and play right away.
I do think you're going to be okay. I think you're going to be different. Like I don't think Donovan Dent's coming back. I'm hearing Kentucky's offered. I've heard somebody just told me today UCLA.
Dude,
I'm hearing like in the area $2 million.
Yeah, when you have the national writers saying, "Hey, here's a superstar player available," everyone is contacting Donovan Dent.
I promise you. All right, if you're there, stay there. I got to hit this break. Kurt Roth's coming in at 9:00, and we'll talk to him about the future. I'm going to get as much of your content in as we can. It's a big day. Again, Richard Pitino was with us. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Rap.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Bring it back.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the minutes. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together
Pull together.
to make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Bring it back.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough.
Founder of 505 Ventures. Dan, thanks for holding. You're on the Sports Animal. Good morning.
Oh, it's me. I'm on money.
That's
Woo,
right.
money.
Yep.
You know,
A lot of it.
It's all about money, man. I had a partner. I've been out begging for the students for the university. One of my buddies calls me this morning. He says, "So what? Do we donate and then they take the money and run?" I said, "Man, that's not what it's about, bro. This is our community." Let's see how many cliches I can say here. Be careful what you wish for. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. I mean, when we donate, we're donating to our community. We have to get over this hump of, oh my God, what's happening? No. A new group comes in. If you've ever coached, you know that there's always a new group coming in, always a new group, and you have to be excited about it. And, Richard, thank you, man. Thank you. Excellent job. Great attitude. Thank you for embracing the community for the time that you did. We embraced you. And now, hit the road, man. And let's see what we get coming in. But I still am a proponent of, let's donate. Let's get some money in there. That's the only way we're going to improve, guys. That's the only way we're going to succeed. And the best revenge is success. Have a great day, guys.
Thanks, Dan. Let me. So on that, JJ, I think you're donating for this year, right? I mean, you're donating. It's a 1-year deal. If you donate money that's going to go towards the players, it's for this year. Unless, we'll talk to Kurt about it, contracts. I mean, I don't know. Do you feel like you got your money's worth on Donovan Dent and True Washington this year? Kind of did, didn't you? I mean, you didn't get to the Sweet 16, but you got further than you've been in, 12 years, 13 years? Kurt Ross, scheduled to be in studio next, the founder of 505 Ventures, Sports Ventures, the collective for global athletics. What's next? How do you go forward? What does he know? His thoughts. I mean, he's the guy running the ship right now, really. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates,
KNML, the sports animal. Now it's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. Here's Jeff Zimbietta and JJ Buck.
All right, so what's next, boys and girls? I did check. I can confirm the sun came up this morning. 7:01 was sunrise in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The sun is up. You will have a new head coach. You most likely have a new backcourt. Hope you heard the conversation with Richard Pitino. If you didn't, it'll be after our show. It'll be up on our website, sportsanimalabq.com. and listen to what Richard had to say. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck, joined in studio now by a guy who has done. JJ, help me. I don't want to overstate it, and I don't want to just blow smoke up his rear end, but probably done more for Lobo Athletics than
You can
anybody.
get the smoke machine out.
No, it's fine. Kurt Roth is the founder of 505 Sports Venture Foundation. It's the collective. It's the group that's been funding the NIL, and what Kurt's done, I don't think is inarguable. It's good to see you, my friend. How you living?
It's great. Great to be here. Oh, it's a beautiful day in Albuquerque.
And the sun came up over the San Diego.
Sun came up. It's going to be great golf weather for all those who have more than 5 minutes to spend. And
I turned down a tee time today.
Yeah, I did also.
Yeah.
It's a great day.
What a day yesterday, huh? And I don't know that yesterday was a great day. I think Lobo basketball is going to be fine. And before we look forward, let's just look back, right? Richard did a hell of a job, 4 years. I don't know how long a guy's supposed to be here. I think you shake his hand, say thank you for leaving it in a better place than than when you found it. Best of luck to you. You're going to make over $4 million. It's a bummer that Donnie and True are in the portal, but I think you go out, and I know there's plenty of good candidates, really good coaches who want this job.
Oh, it's almost comical the difference in the position that UNM basketball is now versus when Richard came in. He's done an incredible job. He left in the best classy manner I think you can expect. There was no subterfuge. There was no, I'm not talking to anyone. People around the program knew he was interviewing, and he was clear about it, and he was going to let the process play out.
And he's never going to be hotter than he was right now, right? I mean, he made it clear about his displeasure with the way the league is looking in a year from now. And by the way, he's going to the Big East. He just came off 2 NCAA tournaments. He beat Marquette, who's in that league, by the way, and the offer is north of $4 million a year.
No, incredible. And I don't think you can understate the conference realignment. He has been that's been a topic in his conversation since it happened. And let's be realistic for all the basketball fans. The Mountain West traded San Diego State, Boise State,
Colorado State,
Fresno, and one other, Utah State. 4
UC
basically
Davis,
without
Grand
Boise.
Canyon,
4, for Grand Canyon, Davis, Hawaii, and UTEP. I mean, come on. He turned around and said, "Wait a minute, what's happening?" He's a young guy. He had an incredible run because he started when he was 29 or whatever. So he left it in a better spot. And, it was tough yesterday because we could see what was happening. At 505, we were ready for it. We spent the weekend in Cleveland. We had talks on a daily basis with Donnie Dent, his people, True, his people, and every other player who can come back. We were quite aware that, we were in flux. What was going to happen? We can't do anything until the coach is settled.
I'd heard that you had a really attractive offer, very competitive, 7 digits, and I don't know how much you can get into. And again, I hear a lot that's not true. Everybody with a thumb's knows what's going on for Donovan to keep him here.
Donovan would, and listen, I don't know what the real numbers are out there. We hear rumors that I get told are then ridiculous by agents. We're getting calls from agents about both the coaches and players almost hourly. Depending on who the head coach is, and I don't want to spark any extra optimism, I'm not ruling Donnie Dent out yet as a return. He's got a lot of roots here. He's got it's not out of the realm of possibility. Would I count on it? No. But conversations will continue until he signs a grant in aid at his new school.
Kurt Roth, the founder of 505 Sports Ventures, in studio with us here on the Sports Animal.
Well, Kurt, obviously, you knew how important this role was going to be when you jumped into it and the passion you have for Lobo basketball. But did you ever envision, you'd be this big of a part of Lobo athletics, this important to the future of the program at this moment?
Did I envision that I would be? No, but I knew I did envision the role that a collective would have, and winning a game in the NCAA tournament and going 2 years in a row and filling the pit. I definitely could see that. That was the goal. And that's why I'm kind of optimistic today. Yesterday was tough. No doubt about it. But, UNM basketball's in an incredibly good position. And, hey, Texas lost the coach. They made the tournament. Now Xavier, they lost the coach to Texas.
Kind of crazy what Del Conte did to Fernando Lobo, didn't he? He triggered this whole thing by taking Xavier's coach, although I think Richard probably there would have been another job for him.
Correct. I believe that there was, I believe that yesterday, without talking about it, I think there were 2 offers. So
Richard told us this morning that he did speak to multiple schools, but only he said he told us he got 1 offer. Is that right?
Well, I believe Richard, but there might be some politics involved.
Or another offer that would have been forthcoming.
That'd be correct, right? There's a lot of politics involved, but I don't think I have to give props to Richard because I've worked closely with him for 3 consecutive years. He's pretty much been a straight shooter about everything. I agree.
You mentioned, and Richard talked about it, and he's open about the future of the Mountain West Conference. Well, how do you continue, to build that positivity, the vibe, the investment piece still being important when it is going to be different?
Well, we've missed an important kind of crossroad with being not included in this realignment. Now, Jeff and I have talked about it in the past. Who knows what's going to happen with this P12, Pac-2, whatever it is. That's still up for grabs. But UNM had an opportunity, didn't want to compete, whatever the powers that be. We were funded 10th in an 11-team league. Yeah, and football is key. But the overall funding, to me, is a problem. As someone who's been involved with UNM 53 years now, to sink to that level while we're the flagship school. We are the pro team, whether or not kids are getting paid or not. Before NIL, the Lobos are the pride and the soul of New Mexico. I've talked to so many people in the last couple of months how they grew up with Lobo basketball. That's right. So, and if you were there were a bunch of games this year. If you were in that gym for Utah State, what occurred, the fan level, the noise, the quality of the game, you cannot do better than that.
Kurt Roth is in studio, the founder of 505 Sports Ventures, which is the collective and the NIL piece of Lobo Athletics, not just for basketball. Where does UNM rank amongst its peers? And I say peers, its conference partners, in regards to the collective. Because for everything I understand, for basketball, you guys are at or near the top.
I believe we're at the top in basketball.
Yeah.
And we've become, this year, very competitive in football. Very competitive. Top 4.
So I hear, and we get this all the time, NIL's killing college sports. Don't overreact yet, because you and I have had this conversation. The transfer portal's killing college sports. Look, it's evolved. It is what it is. The athletes are getting paid. To me, if there's, because I have a fear, and JJ and I brought this up to him yesterday, in 10 years from now, do the fan bases erode? If your roster turns over every single year, does the fan base erode? And I think the bigger issue, and this is not something that you or I are going to solve right now, is the unlimited transfer. To me, that's as big of an issue, but I don't know that you pull that back. Now you have salary caps in pro sports. You don't have any guardrails or anything in college athletics. So where do you see it going? And do you think I'm wrong?
No, you're not wrong. I think we'll see a lot of resetting, so to speak. I don't think house settlement is any answer at all.
If it settles.
If it settles, because it won't for years. It'll be, even if it settles on April 7th, it'll be appealed to the hilt. There'll be some changes. The NCAA has been steadfast in its refusal to bend or be smart. They keep setting down, rigid rules, and they're ridiculous. They're illegal, basically.
Why is it okay to have a salary cap in like the NFL, but not in college sports?
Well, one, the NFL has a kind of loose cap. I mean, Russell Wilson signed with the Giants. I think they're paying him $21 million. The guy hasn't been able to get a first down in 3 years. Well, why? Because the players agreed to it. Unless
the players here have no right.
Right, you want to limit. You want to limit their income, and they don't have a say.
So how do the players? Because there's 351 Division I schools. How do the players agree to something? And that's where there's no union. There's no. I ask this question all the time. Who is they?
Right. Well, that's the hardest thing. That's the biggest problem in coming to some sort of guardrails or goals, how to organize that. Now, the NCPA, which is out of Los Angeles and have brought the National Collegiate Players Association, is really attempting. And you've seen some labor stuff where, like Dartmouth trying to get certified and then withdrawing it. So it's difficult. And there are smarter people in the world than me and the NCAA who will figure it out, because it's such a big financial industry. Smarter folks will get this done. But one other thing about the roster changeover, they said that about baseball in the 70s. They said it about football in the 80s. Those sports are as popular as ever. If there's a problem with the college sports, it's the demographic that just doesn't want to go to games anymore.
And the divide between, and you just saw it, between the power and the non-power leagues. I mean, the divide, the chasm's getting bigger. It just is.
It is. No doubt about it.
Want to take a phone call?
Sure.
All right. Hey, Sean, you're on the Sports Animal with Kurt Roth. What's up, Sean?
Hey, guys. Good morning. One thing I want to talk about is I'm hearing a lot of folks say this morning that it's a lateral move, and I just have to reject that completely. I mean, when you're looking at, Xavier versus UNM, you're looking at, a better conference. I mean, the Mountain West Conference is kind of imploding in a couple of years. You have some better tradition there. The profit sharing with NIL, that helps. I mean, I know there's NIL is kind of a crazy thing right now. Everybody's doing what they can, but at the same time, money matters, right? So I think it was a good move for Richard to go there. My only ask is, like, this time around, when it comes to a coaching change, just please don't look at MSU for once, okay, guys? Please, thanks.
Thanks, Sean. All right, you got that?
Well,
Jason's done a nice job down there.
Yes, he certainly has, and he will not be part of the pool. Not that I am aware of it, but that we didn't touch on that. You are going to see an incredible amount of successful head coaches, either now or in the past, who will want the.
All right, I want to get into that as much as you can share with that. I got a question for you on the text line, on the email. Kurt Roth is in studio. We're going to take a break. I know you got to get out of here. We got one more segment in you.
At
least. Two, at least. All right. Well, we're here till 10. Kurt's going to stick around for a bit. We're talking about the future. He is the founder of 505 Sports Ventures, the collective, the funding arm of the NIL process at the University of New Mexico. He's with us in studio on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All In Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavis, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Sacrifice.
I don't know what Richard's plans are to retain and bring along his staff. I think he had a really good staff. He was very comfortable. And that's also an individual decision. I don't know if we saw the Phil Martelli Jr. little talk after the game about how tough it is on your family. Yeah. And now, these assistants, without being really part of the equation, do they say to their wives, their kids, okay, we're going to Cincinnati? And are they asked?
Well, they asked. That's a big question.
That's a big question. But I think today that the recruiting, to a certain extent, is on hold. Right. But for possibly, if Isaac Chu is a finalist, he's want to say, hey, look, this is where I am. He was the lead recruiter on the 2 commits out of high school. So I don't know. But I think if you were trying to sell yourself, you would want to continue to recruit and say, hey, I like you. I may not be in New Mexico, but we'd like you to come with us. And, of course, the 2 kids who signed the letters of intent are now released.
Yeah, I'm not going to get to all these, and I appreciate you sending them all. I'll run through a bunch of these tomorrow probably. This one says, I've heard that foreign players cannot get NIL. Is that true? Well, they can't, but they can.
That's correct. That's what we'll say. I believe that you're not paying them to work. You're paying them to sell you their picture. It's a license agreement. So if they ever recognize college sports as professional athletes, I think then the foreign players can obtain a different type of visa, a work visa, which is what guys in the NBA have.
Yeah. Christina says, how does NIL work? We've all heard NIL, the collective, but how does it work? How are the athletes paid? Is it a negotiated yearly salary, paid out weekly, bi-monthly, monthly? What is the player's obligation to play the year, make appearances, other obligations? It's from Christina.
Well, that could take me about 10 minutes, but yes, everyone's under contract. There is negotiation. They are obligated to make an appearance at least once a month. No player has ever turned us down if we ask for more. And generally for basketball, men's and women's, we pay them quarterly. And yes, if players go into the portal and payments are due, those payments are suspended until such time as they return to UNM.
All right. Who's next? I mean, like everybody with a thumb's got an idea. I've heard everything from Tom Crean. I love the James Borrego idea. I think having an NBA coach on your bench is so attractive to players. Tom Crean's been great. I've heard Alford, Huss. Juwan Howard was thrown at me today. Eric Olin from UC San Diego. I mean, there's a million names. And I know Fernando, this morning said, I'm on the phone all morning. I'd love to come on, but I can't. I don't know what you can share, what you know. Here's what I've been telling Louisville fan. You're going to be okay. You're going to get this is a pretty attractive job, and you're going to get a good coach in here.
It's a very attractive job right now. Thank you, Richard Pitino. It's attractive for kids in the portal also. Thank you, Richard Pitino. But, yeah, I love the names. I hadn't heard Juwan Howard.
Yeah,
I've heard wilder names.
Yeah,
and I've been contacted by people.
Which Terry, Rodney or Jason is more likely?
That's right.
Because they're both out there.
I've heard both those names.
I have too.
So, we're talking about NBA guys.
Yeah.
Tim Miles. Oh, that's right. That's another one. No, they will have it'll be difficult to whittle it down, but I expect by this time next week to have a head coach.
I'm going to guess sooner.
Could be.
Yeah.
But
portal's open.
Portal's open, and the Final Four is probably where the new head coach will figure out their staff. If final interviews, whatnot. If you've ever been in the Final Four, it's a real job fair.
It's you go down and everybody is just networking, and I mean it's like resumes and cards, but now it's all electronic and handshakes. The lobby of the Final Four is crazy.
It is.
He's Kurt Roth. He's in studio, the founder of 505 Sports Ventures, the collective arm of UNM Athletics.
Now, Kurt, you touched on it a little bit that we keep hearing about this house settlement coming into effect, but there's just so many moving pieces. So is it essentially right now you're just kind of moving on as business as usual? Or are you guys having to plan what those changes could look like in just a couple of weeks?
Well, that's a great question because that's what we're doing. I would be remiss. I got a little tap in the side of the head yesterday because publicly I forgot to mention a really important role that the collectives play by my chief of staff, Nancy Marquez, is we are out in the community. We are out working with charities. We are doing things that UNM either doesn't have the staff or wasn't able to do. We're promoting the name, image, and likeness in the New Mexico community, and we're still trying to bring in the business community. We haven't done a great job, but the charitable groups, the nonprofits have worked with us, and it's been very, very successful. And that is a positive thing about the players being able to receive income. You can get them in the community and pay them for their time. And that's the obligation they have under contract to us. And it can be a private business, but to date, it's been basically charitable.
On that note, Gerald asked this question. Can you ask Kurt? I get a lot of these. And I've been asked the same thing with New Mexico Bowl, or he's led a New Mexico Bowl. Have you reached out to Intel? You've reached out to everybody.
I have reached out to everyone. It is I came to UNM in 1973. The business world is different in that when I was a teenager at UNM, the businesses were all locally owned and operated. It was kind of a big deal when franchises started to come in. You had your burgers, your McDonald's maybe, but we all had local people owning the business. One of the tough things to get the corporate world involved that we're experiencing is they're nationally owned.
Yeah.
Very few, Rick Gallis, Bob Turner, those guys.
Chalmers back in the day.
Chalmers, right.
Yeah.
We still have the Garcia family, but and they're active. Of course, the Ranasecs are great.
That's right.
But very much less locally controlled business in Albuquerque.
I'm looking at this text. JJ, I don't know I don't know if I'm going to get all these. The names that are on the text, I mean, I'll just, I've got everything from Michael Cooper to Kenny Thomas to Eric Olin to Tim Miles to Alford without noodles to, where's this one that just threw a bunch at me? Russ Hodge at North Texas to Eric Olin again, Preston Spardlin, James Madison, Bryce Drew, who's making a lot of money at Grand Canyon, Tim Miles. And I mean, the names, they're out, everybody's got an idea, which, by the way, that's my whole point is you're in a place that all those are pretty good basketball coaches, right?
Right. That's the positive. People, it's a gloomy day. No, look who wants this job. And I think it's a testament to the success that UNM basketball has enjoyed, and the level that Richard got the team to, the program to. It's at a high level.
Yeah, no, it is. It is, and it's going to be a desirable gig. Robert, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal with Kurt Roth. How you doing?
Hey, good morning, Kurt. I have a question. Do you know of any websites that would allow us to find out what some of these college players are getting paid? I haven't been able to find one. Maybe it's not published. I'll hang up and listen.
That's a great question, but for now, that's private. If the schools now start to do revenue sharing, I'm not sure how the student athlete's right of privacy.
It's public information.
Well, you might have public information vis-a-vis the overall amount spent, but yeah, a public institution like UNM has obligations. So that's another issue where you take the contractual obligation away from the private company like 505 SVF. We're not subject to public disclosure, and I've never, as a private lawyer and running my own firm, my income's not public.
That's right.
I don't
Or
want
should
it.
it be?
It shouldn't be. So that's an interesting position. And another thing that a union, a collective bargaining agreement might deal with, as if the students were represented. Hey, why are you disclosing my income?
Yep.
But no, there isn't a place you can find it.
I got a Richie McKay instead of Alford on here, and Rodney Terry, please. Okay, keep it coming.
Well, I Richie McKay will not come back to the university. I actually have enjoyed a continued conversation with Coach.
Dude.
He's not coming back. He's quite sad at Liberty. He's got a great gig. They're in a tournament.
And getting paid.
He's getting
paid. Ray, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal with Kurt Roth. How you living?
Yeah, good morning. I wanted to get back to the NIL and transfer, particularly the transfer portal volatility. A thing that I could see coming, and Kurt, you would know much better than me, what is the process for getting multi-year NIL agreements going and aligning them with the commitment that schools make for scholarships?
Well, that's a great question.
My feeling is that maybe some of the transfer portal volatility would cease to a small degree, and it would take time. It's basically a free enterprise approach.
Well, it is free enterprise, and that's a great question because the charade that the NCAA has imposed on these schools is that you're not paying the student athletes to play football, basketball, tennis, whatever. You're paying them for their picture. If they come to grips with reality and if they recognize the student athletes as professionals, then the contract does come to play basketball. And then you can restrict movement. It's a bargain for piece of a contract. But the NCAA is engaged, like I say, in a charade. Oh, you have to pay them for their picture, which we do. Our contract reflects that. But I can't tell a kid he can't transfer. He stops getting.
Are all these contracts 1 year that you do?
No, we have two kids who've just finished 2 year contract. No, three.
They finished them.
Finished 2 year contracts.
Is anybody under contract NIL for next year?
Not one.
Okay, but you've had conversations with everybody.
We had, including Donnie and True. We were going to retain eight guys.
You got another segment left in you?
I do.
All right, Kurt Roth is in studio. I want to talk next about where does the collective go with the House settlement potentially coming down with revenue sharing? What's the role of the collective? Is it an addendum to it to revenue sharing? Is it an addition? How can you help if it's something you want to be a part of? That's still to come. Kurt Roth is in studio with JJ Buck. I'm merely Jeff Symbieta on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
You're listening to the Jim Rome.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you 40 years strong. And
Richard Pitino was with us after the show, and some of you have asked how to listen to the Pitino thing. This is a great one. You're going to love this. The Richard Pitino conversation will be available on our website, sportsanimalabq.com. Click on the opening drive. That's how you get it. Kurt Roth is in studio with us. All right, go get this guy. Kurt is the founder of 505 Sports Ventures. So I got the most recent text. UNM needs to hire Eric Olin. Excellent coach. He's the guy at UC San Diego. The next one says, how about bringing the old man to Albuquerque, Rick Pitino?
There you go. I'm 100% in.
I go get him.
Yeah.
You go get him. All right, what's next? As far as what you do, people are asking, how do I get involved? Should I get involved? What is the future of collectives, and more specifically, your collective, after July 1st, assuming revenue sharing becomes the way?
Well, I think, we touched on it briefly before. We are kind of a private fundraising arm of
So
UNM.
will you be in addition to whatever UNM does?
Correct. And I also believe that we will work and focus now, because of UNM's role in it, on the community development, getting individuals, having events in and around Albuquerque with the students.
But it'll be extra funding for the students. So let's just say Donovan Dent comes back and he's got a rev sharing deal with UNM for, let's just say, let's use round numbers, say $1 million, but you can find him more money.
Correct. That's always been our goal,
yeah.
But we've always had to focus on meeting, in essence, payroll, because we were very ambitious. We went out and said, this is what it takes to be successful. And we were right. So we have a financial obligation first. Now, that major obligation will be shifted to UNM, but the additional work in the community, the charitable stuff, I think that's where we're really going to excel. And as a result, the tide raises all boats. I think we're in a great position, and I think this is partially a wake-up call. But also, as the sun came up today, Jeff,
it's amazing.
We're in a great spot.
Yeah.
This is a great thing. Let's keep it going.
Text, how can we even measure success for NIL? Is there any way to gauge player performance or shoot even a coach's performance with NIL payment? Seems like NIL groups can play games with stipulations. I'm
not quite sure what that means. I mean, the bottom line is if you want to treat college athletics as a business, which it clearly is, there's the results, success on the field. And NIL is part of the investment in that business. So, people tell me all the time, if I donate X, can you guarantee anything? And I say, of course, I can't guarantee success, but if we don't raise the money, I can guarantee failure.
All right, in that vein, Lobo fans sitting there going, all right, I'm hurting, but I want to continue. And there might be somebody out there saying, dude, I want my money to go to football. We need to, because football's the reason we're in the position we're in. Like, if you were going to the Pac, would Richard have stayed? And there's that conversation. And football's the reason you're not going to the Pac. So how do people get involved, and what's the process?
Well, you can go to our website. I mean, I think my phone number's on the website. I'm all over town. You can always grab me, reach out, call me, email me. But right on the website, there's a way to donate online. And when you fill out your little information, you've got to give us your name, your email. You can designate where you want. You can even designate a player, student athlete, if you like. But we get people who designate football, basketball, women's basketball, tennis, women's tennis regularly. And it's easy, 505sports.org. Scroll down, you'll see become a member, and it's really simple.
Joe, you're on the Sports Animal. Thanks for holding. You're on with Kurt Roth. Hi, Joe.
Hey, guys, thanks for taking my call. Kurt, I appreciate it. Kurt, I just want to say thank you for what you're doing for UNM Athletics. It's Wild West of college athletics, and really, if we didn't have this collective, I'd say we'd be in a dire situation across the board athletically. With that being said, as the collective, how much say do you have, and the board of the 50 in the next head for UNM Athletics, if any at all? I mean, we're kind of paying for the groceries. You would think we would be able to get to pick the guys who's picking the groceries as well as a little bit. With that being said, I'll get off and listen, but do you have any candidates who you're interested? I know you probably can't speak to the extent of it, but we are in a good spot. I do believe UNM is an attractive mid-major job. I think we do have an awesome NIL program. I'm still new to that, still researching it, but I just want to get your thoughts on that. Thanks,
you, Joe.
Well, that's a great question. You've hit on a bunch of points. A, we're going to continue to be involved. B, under the past administration, the Lobo Alliance was started, which is an agreement between UNM and 505, in essence, to pool resources and work together. And with Fernando Lobo as the athletic director, I was closely involved, actually traveled with the team to go interview coaches. My input, I believe, is valued, and I get a seat at the table. I do have a couple of names I would love, but you're right. I'm not getting involved. I don't want anyone to think I will have a final say in it. I have input, but the team at UNM is really, really good in the athletic department, and we will hire a very strong coach.
Paul, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal with Kurt Roth. Hello, Paul.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. How you guys doing?
Good. How you living?
I'm struggling emotionally, man.
Yeah, I get it.
It's tough. Yeah, I'm a lifelong Lobo fan. Sit in seats that my family's had since they built the place. So, yeah, it's just the landscape has changed, and I guess emotionally I'm going to have to adjust to that. I appreciate what Coach Pitino has done and contributed, and where he's left the program, and what you guys do at the sports venture side. It's encouraging moving forward. But yeah, to be honest, emotionally, it's kind of, I'm struggling. It's like, do I want to renew tickets given this new landscape? But maybe one suggestion. Let me explain it like this. Let's say you raise llamas, right? You always say never name your llamas, because eventually you're going to have to sell them off or get rid of them. So you don't
get attached emotionally.
Maybe not put the players' names on the back of the jerseys anymore, because I don't want to get emotionally attached to one particular one. Support the program, but man, it's tough. It's hard. It's really tough.
Yeah,
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. But it's just another reason to continue to battle, and we are in a great position. And if you were you're a season ticket holder, the Utah State game. I've been coming to Lobo basketball since '73. The Utah State game, the atmosphere, the talent on the court, the competition was as good a game as I've ever been to, and that includes the Pit and Madison Square Garden.
All right, let's get one more in before the break. Ken, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal with Kurt Roth. Hi, Ken.
Yeah. Good morning, guys. Yeah. So I also appreciate what you guys do in fundraising and making this happen for Lobo players and athletics. Two really quick questions. One, did I hear right that some of the reason why the Pac-12 did not take the Lobos is because of what we're spending on athletics? Is that the main reason that maybe they looked elsewhere and not pick us?
I think it was a reason. I don't know that it was the reason.
Well, they took the top spending schools in football, right down the board. I mean, right from top to bottom.
And what was the gap?
Our gap is. I think San Diego State's budget is double. What
I
ours
think they're
is.
near $100 million, and you were at about $48 million.
Right. Correct. Oh no, I find it embarrassing the level of state funding for university in general, but athletics specifically.
Wow, that is really sad. That's really sad. And then last quick question. You were mentioning, is this thing dead of some type of merger between the two conferences, or do you think there's still a little bit of hope that at the end of the day that the Pac-12 Mountain West Conference could be still something that is considered?
Yeah, Ken, and I was talking to some, and thanks for the call. I think there's a sliver, right? A sliver. There's a lot of ill will, and now you've added to a lot of pieces. What do you do with not only Gonzaga? You've got Hawaii, UTEP, UC Davis, Northern Illinois. What are you doing with that? Who are they taking? There's a lot of ill will there. I think if you gave them truth serum, there might be some people who look back and say, "Man, maybe we should have done this differently." But I mean, you're so far down the road. The PAC is negotiating TV rights today, like yesterday. Right now, they are deep in TV in their media rights negotiations with their current construct. And I say never, Kurt. You and I have talked about this. If there's a hope, it's a sliver.
All right, it ain't over till it's over.
Yeah. All right, you got one more in you?
Sure do.
All right, we're here till 10. 505-246-0610. Kurt Roth is in studio with us. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie, and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as Red and Green.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfasfa.org.
505 Ventures. Damn it, my email just went away. There was a great question on here. All right, it says, hey, Kurt, this is from Matt. He says, Jeff, doing a little research on Xavier as I prepare to cast spells, and I came across this 2% NIL initiative. They're working to sign up 10,000 contributors at $25 a month. If my math is correct, that's $3 million a year. So 2 questions for Kurt. What amount of annual revenue would our NIL need to be considered elite? And 2, given the economic dynamics of our state, and God bless our big-time donors, the Reina Sextus, the Stewarts, Kurt, etc., I really think our community would rally around this goal of signing up X number of members at a flat monthly fee. I think it would be tangible. I know you're doing that.
Yeah, we have done that from the get-go. We also projected large numbers, and I think in part there's been it's been a lot slower. It's been successful, and we've last week when we win a game, all of a sudden we had about 25, 30 people that day sign up.
Go today, 505sports.org, and you can sign up and have $20 a month, $25 a month.
$5 a month. You can do whatever reoccurring you want. We do give access to the website and some other inside stuff, which will change as this house settlement comes in. I think you'll have more insider information. But you have access to the website, I believe, if you're at $25 a month.
Yeah. 505sports.org.
Yeah, but that's it. But we want to raise a couple $1 million a year.
Anthony says, Kurt Roth question, what responsibility does the university administration and state leaders have for not providing resources and funding? Patino mentioned resources many times. We seem to fall behind, and not being at the top of the conference may have played a big part for Patino. Well, all that goes into the conference affiliation, too.
Yeah, it does. But he's also talking about, the state. Have they funded it? And I have, I get a little political on that. The answer is no. But people keep telling me Santa Fe, Santa Fe. And I tell them, I'm here 3 years. I'm a registered voter. You and I are Santa Fe. The voters tolerate what has happened. It's up to us as a collective population to say, hey, we want to succeed. We want to fund UNM athletics. We want this. It's up to us. Santa Fe is just a way to saying somebody else is going to do it.
Can you explain if or how NIL efforts contribute to improving facilities, or is that still something that falls solely under the Lobo Athletic Fund?
Well, I think that
it's different.
It's different, but how does it contribute? Well, tell me what's more likely: funding from the legislature, funding from boosters, funding as a result of winning a Mountain West championship, or finishing in last place. The quickest way to sell your athletic department is on the playing field. And if you're successful, donations rise, enrollment rises, national attention rises. And, one day I hope when we're regular NCAA performers, they get the difference between New Mexico and New Mexico
Wouldn't that
State.
be something else? Yeah, I mean, where they don't put the other, yeah.
We don't have the cowboy on.
They do it when they're in too, though. They put a Lobo up when the Aggies.
Oh, the Aggies get it too.
Yeah,
I mean, I think we need, when I say funding, I think New Mexico State needs to be treated well also.
Yes.
We're much better when both schools win.
Kurt Roth is in studio. Appreciate your time, dude. I really do. There's a lot going on. I think the message is you're going to be okay.
We're going to be okay.
Like you're going to be okay. It's a bummer. What hurts more? And I don't know that there's an answer. And probably different answer to everybody. Losing Richard or losing Donnie and True?
Good question. I was close to all three, and I am still close. And I wish everyone the best. And it's part of the business. It's part of being a fan. Being a fan doesn't make any logical sense.
None.
In
fact, it takes away all logical sense.
That takes away. You lose to Boise State on the road, and you want to kick a dog or something. I mean, I feel that way too. So once you realize that. You can turn it around. You do a little mourning, light a candle, do whatever you're going to do.
And then go woof, woof, woof. And
go woof, 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 and think about how cool it is when we have a press conference Monday or Sunday with a new coach. And all of a sudden, kids are clamoring to show up because there's some spots to fill in a very attractive program.
JJ, what hurts more, losing the coach or the players? Yeah.
Players,
you think so?
The coach, because Rich Pitino built those relationships with the players, with the community, brought the program back to life. The players know the talent's the reason you were able to be successful.
Look, man, there's going to be players when you sit here next November. You're going to go, oh man, I like that Gabriel guy, or I like this guy who transferred in from there, or some guy you've never heard of before, right?
Right.
He's going to be great. 505sports.org. Go look at the website, and if it's something that interests you, you walk yourself through it, and that's how you can be part of it. Kurt, really, really appreciate you spending an hour with us. I know you got a lot going on. First of all, for Lobo fans, and I'll echo it, thank you for doing what you've done for this community, and continued success to you.
We're going to have continued success, so everybody who wants to jump on board, now's the time. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks to Richard Pitino for being with us as well. You can listen to that over on our website, sportsanimалabq.com. Click on the opening drive. It'll be up in a few minutes. Adrian, great work. Heard with Colin Coward's next. Jim Rome show after that. 2 Men On at 4. We're back with award-winning radio tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. He's J.J. Buck. I'm merely Jeff Symbieta. Big day for you?
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
That's NMFAFSA.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfasfa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired, outside